This is a trap. Intro. What if I told you that most of the things you chase every day are traps? Invisible traps, social traps, mental traps, emotional traps, and the scariest part, most people never escape them. They live their entire lives inside cages they cannot see. Today, we break the cage. By the end of this video, you'll start seeing the world differently. You'll notice the manipulation. You'll recognize the illusions. You'll understand why so many people feel stuck, drained, and controlled. And more importantly, you'll learn how to walk away. But before we start, if you enjoy deep videos like this, subscribe to the channel and join the tribe. I make videos designed to rewire your thinking and help you see what most people miss. Now let's begin. Because this is a trap. Part 1. The business trap. One of the biggest lies society ever sold us is this: if you stay busy, you're doing well. Think about it. People brag about being busy. I barely slept. I've been working all day. I don't even have time to think. And everyone nods like this is something to admire. But here's the truth. Business is often a distraction from meaning. Being busy doesn't mean you're progressing. It doesn't mean you're growing. It doesn't mean you're happy. It just means you're occupied. And occupied people don't ask dangerous questions like, am I happy? Do I actually want this life? Am I living on my own terms? Business keeps you too tired to think, too distracted to question, too exhausted to escape. It feels productive, but it quietly steals your life. And that is the first trap. Part 2. The social approval trap. From childhood, you are trained to seek approval. Good grades, praise. Good behavior, rewards. Good obedience, acceptance. You learn quickly. Approval equals safety. So you grow up chasing it. You choose careers to impress people. You post online for validation. You dress to fit expectations. You hide opinions to avoid rejection. And slowly, your real self disappears. Here's the brutal truth. The moment you need approval, you lose freedom. Because now your happiness depends on other people's opinions. And people's opinions change constantly. Today they clap for you. Tomorrow they criticize you. Next week they forget you exist. If your self-worth depends on applause, you will always be controlled. And that is exactly how the trap works. Part 3. The comfort trap. Comfort feels safe, warm, predictable. But comfort is the most beautiful prison ever built. Comfort says, stay here, you're safe. Growth says, leave, you're dying. Comfort whispers, don't risk it. Growth screams, you're wasting your life. Most people choose comfort. They stay in jobs they hate, stay in relationships that drain them, stay in routines that slowly suffocate their potential. Not because they love it, because they fear discomfort. But here's the paradox. Short-term comfort creates long-term pain. Short-term discomfort creates long-term freedom. Comfort feels safe today, but dangerous tomorrow. That's why it's a trap. Part 4. The comparison trap. Social media created a new psychological prison. Comparison. You wake up and instantly see someone richer, someone happier, someone more attractive, someone more successful. Every day, you compare your real life to someone else's highlight reel, and you lose. Because you're comparing, you're behind the scenes to their movie trailer. Comparison kills gratitude. Comparison kills confidence. Comparison kills joy. It keeps you chasing a finish line that moves every day. No matter how far you go, someone always appears ahead, and the race never ends. Because it was never meant to. Part 5. The overthinking trap. Overthinking feels intelligent. It feels responsible. It feels safe. But overthinking is fear wearing a suit. You replay conversations. You imagine worst case scenarios. You analyze every decision until you feel paralyzed. And while you're thinking, life keeps moving. Opportunities pass. Chances disappear. Time keeps going. Overthinking gives the illusion of control. But in reality, it steals action. And without action, nothing changes. Part 6. The people-pleasing trap. Many people live their lives trying not to upset anyone. They say yes when they mean no. They apologize for things that aren't their fault. They hide their opinions to keep the peace. It feels kind, but it slowly destroys self-respect. Because every time you betray yourself to please others, you teach people how to treat you. And the more you sacrifice your boundaries, the more people expect you to. Until one day you realize, you built a life where everyone is happy except you. Part 7. The Perfection Trap. Perfection is procrastination in disguise. You wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, the perfect confidence. And because perfection doesn't exist, you never start. Meanwhile, imperfect people take action. They fail. They learn. They grow. Perfection keeps you stuck at the starting line forever. Part 8. The Identity Trap. You start believing you are your job, your income, your relationship status, your past mistakes. But these are roles, not identity. When you attach your worth to roles, you fear losing them. And fear makes you controllable. Part 9. Breaking free. Escaping the trap begins with awareness. You start noticing when you seek approval, when you avoid discomfort, when you compare, when you overthink, when you betray yourself. Awareness breaks illusions. And once you see the trap, you cannot unsee it. Outro. If this video opened your eyes even a little, subscribe to the channel right now, because this channel is about waking up, thinking deeper, and escaping the traps that hold most people back. Join the community and become harder to manipulate, harder to control, and stronger mentally. And remember, the world is full of traps, but now, you can see them. I'll see you in the next video. Part 10. The Money Trap. Money is necessary. Let's be honest about that first. You need it to survive. You need it to live comfortably. You need it to support the people you love. But somewhere along the way, money stopped being a tool and became a scoreboard. And the moment money becomes a scoreboard, the trap is set. You stop asking, is this meaningful? You start asking, does this pay more? You stop asking, does this fulfill me? You start asking, will this impress people? And suddenly your entire life becomes a race for numbers. More salary, more status, more possessions. But here's what nobody tells you. Every level of income creates new problems. More money, more expectations. More money, more pressure. More money, more comparison. You don't reach a magical point where everything feels complete. The finish line moves. Again. And again. And again. The trap isn't money. The trap is believing money will finally make you feel enough. Because if you don't feel enough now, no number will fix that later. Part 11. The Scrolling Trap. Pick up your phone. Open social media. Tell yourself, just 5 minutes. 45 minutes later, you're still there. Scrolling is the most silent addiction in the modern world. No smoke, no smell, no obvious damage. But it steals the most valuable currency you have, attention. Your attention is your life. What you give attention to becomes your reality. And scrolling trains your brain to crave novelty, quick dopamine, constant stimulation. It slowly destroys your ability to focus, to sit with thoughts, to be bored, to create, to think deeply. And deep thinking is dangerous to the system. Because people who think deeply start questioning things. Part 12. The Entertainment Trap. Entertainment used to be occasional. Now it's constant. Movies, series, short videos, gaming, music, podcasts, infinite content, available instantly. And while entertainment is not bad, endless entertainment is. Because when your life feels empty, entertainment becomes escape, and escape becomes routine. Then routine becomes lifestyle. You stop creating your life and start consuming other people's lives. And years pass. Part 13. The Relationship Trap. This one hurts. Because it's subtle. Many people don't fall in love. They fall into fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear of judgment. Fear of missing out. So they stay in relationships that drain energy, in connections that limit growth, in dynamics that shrink their identity. Not because they are happy, because leaving feels scarier than staying, but staying in the wrong relationship costs years of your life. And time is the one thing you can never earn back. Part 14. The Someday Trap. This trap sounds harmless. I'll start someday. I'll travel someday. I'll start the business someday. I'll chase my passion someday. Someday is the most dangerous word in the world, because someday feels responsible. It feels patient. It feels logical. But someday quietly turns into next year. Next year becomes later. Later becomes never. And one day you wake up and realize you ran out of somedays. Part 15. The Fear Trap. Fear is not the enemy. Fear is a signal. But most people treat fear as a stop sign instead of a compass. Fear appears whenever you move toward growth. New job fear. New city fear. New opportunity fear. Speaking your truth fear. Fear doesn't mean stop. Fear means this matters. Everything meaningful in life lives on the other side of fear. Part 16. The Opinion Trap. People are terrified of being judged, so they censor themselves. They hide ideas, hide dreams, hide opinions, hide personality, to stay acceptable. But here's the truth. No matter what you do, people will judge you anyway. If you succeed, they judge. If you fail, they judge. If you speak, they judge. If you stay silent, they judge. So you might as well be real. Because freedom begins when you stop managing your image. Part 17. The Time Trap. You think you have time. Everyone thinks they have time. Time to figure it out. Time to change. Time to start. Time to become who they want to be. But time is the only resource you never see leaving. You don't notice it disappearing until years have passed. And suddenly you realize life isn't short. Life is fast. Part 18. The Wake Up Call. At some point in life, everyone gets a wake up call. A moment that shakes them. A realization that hits deep. A feeling that whispers, there must be more than this. Some people ignore it. They go back to comfort. Back to routine. Back to distraction. Others listen. And that moment changes everything. This video might be that moment for someone watching right now. Extended outro. If this video made you think, if it made you pause, if it made you see life differently even for a moment, then this channel is for you. Subscribe now and join a community focused on growth, awareness and mental strength. Because most people never escape the traps, but you don't have to be most people. And remember, the biggest trap of all is never realizing you're in one. I'll see you in the next video. Part 19. The Success Trap. This one confuses people, because it sounds wrong at first. How can success be a trap? Because society gives you a definition of success before you're old enough to question it. Good school, good job, good salary, good house, good car. It's a pre-written life script, and most people follow it automatically. They never stop to ask, is this my version of success? Or someone else's? You can climb the ladder for 20 years, and one day realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. That realization is terrifying. Because now you have status, but no fulfillment. Achievement, but no excitement. Security, but no meaning. The world will call you successful, but inside, you feel empty. And that is one of the most painful traps of all. Part 20. The Stay Small Trap. The moment you start growing, something strange happens. Some people stop cheering. They become uncomfortable. Not because they hate you, but because your growth reminds them of their inaction. Your ambition becomes a mirror, and mirrors make people uncomfortable. So they say things like, you've changed. You're doing too much. Why can't you just relax? You think you're better than us now. This is the Stay Small Trap. It pressures you to shrink, so others don't feel threatened. Many people surrender here. They dim their light, lower their goals, hide their ambition, just to stay accepted. But growth always requires leaving certain environments behind. Not everyone is meant to grow with you, and that's okay. Part 21. The Regret Trap. Imagine being 80 years old, sitting quietly, looking back on your life. What hurts more? The risks you took that failed, or the chances you never took at all? Ask older people about regrets. You'll hear the same themes again and again. I wish I tried. I wish I started sooner. I wish I cared less about opinions. I wish I took more risks. Regret doesn't come from failure. Regret comes from inaction, from hesitation, from fear, from waiting too long. The regret trap convinces you that playing safe is smart, but playing safe often leads to the biggest pain later. Part 22. The distraction trap. We live in the most distracted era in human history. Every app fights for your attention. Every platform competes for your focus. Every notification interrupts your thinking. Your attention is being auctioned every second. Because attention equals power. Whoever controls your attention controls your life direction. And distraction keeps you from doing the one thing that changes everything. Deep work. Deep thinking. Deep focus. Deep creation. The world rewards depth, but trains you for distraction. Part 23. The negative thought trap. Your brain is designed to protect you, not to make you happy. So it constantly scans for danger. And sometimes, it creates danger that isn't even real. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts feel real, but they are predictions, not facts. And the more you believe them, the more they shape your behavior. Negative thoughts become self-fulfilling prophecies. You avoid risks, avoid opportunities, avoid growth, all because of thoughts that never actually happened. Part 24. The identity upgrade. Here's the turning point. Escaping traps isn't about changing your life overnight. It starts with changing how you see yourself. You stop saying, I'm not confident, and start saying, I'm learning confidence. You stop saying, I'm bad at this, and start saying, I'm improving at this. Identity is powerful, because you always act in alignment with who you believe you are. Change the identity, and behavior follows. Part 25. The freedom shift. Freedom doesn't arrive suddenly. It grows quietly. It starts when you say no without guilt. Spend time alone comfortably. Stop explaining your choices. Stop chasing approval. Start trusting yourself. These are small changes, but they create massive internal freedom. And internal freedom changes everything. Part 26. You're starting to see it. By now, something feels different. You're noticing patterns. You're recognizing traps in your own life. That uncomfortable feeling? That's awareness. And awareness is powerful, because once you see the game, you stop playing it blindly. Final extended outro. If you made it this far, you're not like most people. Most people avoid deep thinking. Most people avoid uncomfortable truths. Most people avoid self-reflection. But you didn't. And that means you're already stepping outside the trap. If you want more videos that challenge your thinking and help you grow mentally, subscribe to the channel now, join the community, and start building a life that is intentional, not automatic. Because the world is full of invisible traps. But now, you're learning how to see them. I'll see you in the next video. Part 27. The no one is coming realization. At some point in life, a realization hits quietly. No one is coming to save you. No mentor magically appears. No perfect opportunity knocks at your door. No sudden moment transforms everything overnight. And strangely, this realization is not depressing. It's liberating. Because when no one is coming to save you, you stop waiting. You stop postponing. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You begin taking responsibility. And responsibility is where real power begins. Part 28. The excuse trap. Excuses feel comforting. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have the right connections. I'll start when things calm down. Excuses protect your ego. They make an action feel justified. But deep down, you know the truth. Most successful people started before they felt ready. before they felt confident, before they had resources, before they had guarantees. Action creates clarity, not the other way around. Part 29. The first step: fear. The first step is always the hardest. Starting the channel, sending the application, going to the gym, leaving the toxic environment, speaking the truth. Why? Because the first step destroys the fantasy of someday. Once you start, the dream becomes real, and real things can fail. So the brain protects you by keeping everything in the planning stage. Safe, imaginary, untested. But nothing changes until the first step happens. Part 30. The small win secret. Big life changes don't happen overnight. They happen through small wins. Waking up earlier, reading 10 pages, working 30 focused minutes, choosing discipline once per day. Small wins seem insignificant, but they compound. Just like debt compounds. Just like habits compound. Just like interest compounds. Your future is built in small daily decisions. Part 31. The environment shift. Your environment shapes your behavior more than motivation ever will. If you're surrounded by negativity, growth feels impossible. If you're surrounded by distraction, focus feels impossible. If you're surrounded by mediocrity, excellence feels unnecessary. Sometimes the biggest life upgrade is changing your environment. New spaces, new routines, new influences, new identity. Part 32. The loneliness phase. This phase surprises many people. When you start changing, you may feel alone. Old conversations stop making sense. Old habits stop feeling enjoyable. Old environments feel uncomfortable. You haven't fully reached the new version of your life yet, but you no longer fit the old one. This in-between phase feels lonely, but it's temporary, and it's a sign of growth. Part 33. The moment everything clicks. One day, without warning, things start making sense. You trust yourself more. You care less about opinions. You waste less time. You think more clearly. You act more confidently. You realize you didn't escape the traps overnight. You escaped them gradually, and the person you used to be wouldn't recognize you now. Part 34. The message you needed to hear. If you feel stuck right now, listen carefully. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not incapable. You are simply becoming aware. And awareness is the beginning of change. Every person who transformed their life started with this moment. The moment they realized something has to change. Final closing. Life is not meant to be lived on autopilot. It's meant to be questioned, explored, designed intentionally. Most people never escape the invisible traps. They stay busy. They stay distracted. They stay comfortable. They stay stuck. But you don't have to. You can think deeper, act differently, live intentionally. And if this video helped shift your mindset even slightly, subscribe to the channel now for more videos like this. This is just the beginning. And remember, the most dangerous trap in life is living without realizing you're trapped. I'll see you in the next video. Part 35. Recognizing hidden manipulation. Sometimes, the trap isn't obvious. People or situations often disguise control under kindness, logic, or even opportunity. You might think you're making a choice freely, but subtle nudges, repeated suggestions, or emotional pressure can steer you without you realizing it. Ask yourself, who benefits if I act this way? If the answer isn't you, it's likely a trap in disguise. Awareness is your first defense. Tip: journal your decisions. Seeing patterns over time helps expose recurring manipulations. Part 36. The cost of ignoring red flags. Ignoring small warning signs often leads to bigger problems. That tiny feeling of discomfort, the slight hesitation, or that uneasy gut reaction, these are all your instincts signaling a trap. Remember, it's always better to step back and analyze than to jump in and regret. Protecting your peace now prevents long-term entanglement. Part 37. Emotional traps. Not all traps are external. Some live in your mind. Doubt, fear, and guilt are emotional traps that can paralyze you or make you overcommit. Recognizing when your own feelings are steering you into a harmful choice is crucial. Action step. Pause, breathe, and ask, is this fear-based decision or choice coming from clarity? Part 38. Social pressure and its trap. People often fall into traps because of social pressure. Everyone's doing it is a classic lure. Remember, the majority is not always right. Peer influence can make you overextend, compromise values, or follow paths that aren't yours. Tip. Build boundaries and learn to say no without guilt. Saying no is not rude, it's self-preservation. Part 39. Financial and opportunity traps. Too good to be true deals often are. Scammers, deceptive offers, and risky shortcuts prey on your desire for fast results. Evaluate opportunities carefully. Ask questions like, what's the catch? Who truly benefits? Remember, if someone pushes urgency, they are likely trying to trap your impulse. Pause. Investigate. Decide. Part 40. Breaking free. Once you recognize a trap, the next step is action. Freeing yourself requires courage, clear boundaries, and sometimes walking away. Even small steps of detachment weaken the trap's hold. Pro tip. Mentally rehearse scenarios where you refuse, disengage, or redirect. Visualization strengthens your ability to respond in reality. Part 41. The power of observation. The more you observe, the less likely you are to fall into traps. Watch not just people's words, but their actions, patterns, and inconsistencies. Often, a trap is revealed in repeated behavior, not a single moment. Action step. Take notes mentally or physically. Patterns expose hidden intentions. Part 42. Trust but verify. It's easy to assume people are acting in good faith, but even those with the best intentions can lead you into traps if your needs and values aren't aligned. Remember, trust is earned, not given freely. Ask clarifying questions. Look for evidence, not promises. Part 43. Avoiding overcommitment. Many traps thrive when you're stretched too thin. Overcommitting your time, energy, or resources leaves you vulnerable to manipulation and stress. Tip. Learn the art of selective engagement. Focus only on what aligns with your goals and values. Dart. Part 44. Digital traps. In today's world, traps aren't always physical. Online scams, clickbait, emotional manipulation on social media, these are modern day snares. Action step. Slow down before acting online. Pause before clicking, commenting, or sharing. Protect your mental space. Part 45. People who gaslight. Gaslighting is a psychological trap where someone makes you doubt your reality. They twist facts, challenge memories, and make you question your judgment. Recognizing this early prevents long-term confusion. Tip. Keep records and trust your instincts. Your perception matters. Part 46. Avoiding emotional blackmail. Traps often use guilt or obligation. Statements like "after all I've done for you," or "if you really cared," are emotional levers to manipulate behavior. Action step. Recognize manipulation. Respond calmly, not emotionally. Your decisions should never be coerced. Part 47. Recognizing friendly traps. Not every trap is malicious. Sometimes friends, colleagues, or family unintentionally pull you into decisions that aren't in your best interest. Tip. Evaluate advice critically. Align decisions with your own values, not just others' expectations. Dart. Part 48. The illusion of opportunity. Traps often appear as opportunities. High returns, quick success, or exclusive access may seem tempting, but they can hide risks. Action step. Take time to research. Ask, what could go wrong? Who really benefits? Part 49. Mental resilience as a shield. A strong mind is your best defense. Traps prey on weakness, uncertainty, and fear. Building mental resilience through reflection, meditation, or journaling reduces vulnerability. Pro tip. Practice saying no in low-stakes situations to strengthen confidence for bigger challenges. Dart. Part 50. The freedom of awareness. The ultimate protection against traps is awareness. When you understand the tactics, the patterns, and your own triggers, you reclaim control. Final reminder for this section. Awareness doesn't guarantee perfection, but it gives you power, the power to choose, the power to act, and the power to remain untrapped. Part 51. Understanding confirmation bias. One of the sneakiest traps is your own mind. Confirmation bias makes you favor information that supports what you already believe. Traps exploit this by feeding your assumptions. Tip: challenge your beliefs regularly. Ask, could I be wrong? Is there another perspective? Part 52. The slow burn trap. Not all traps are immediate. Some are gradual, creeping into your life over time, like toxic friendships, bad habits, or unhealthy work environments. Action step: periodically review your life. Ask, am I thriving or just surviving in this situation? Part 53. Flattery as a trap. Flattery feels good, but it can be used to manipulate. Compliments may be designed to lower your guard or make you compliant. Tip: appreciate genuine praise, but watch if actions align with words. Trust deeds over flattery. Part 54. The trap of shoulds. Society, culture, or even family often impose shoulds that don't serve you. Following them blindly can trap you in a life that isn't yours. Action step: examine your motivations. Ask, am I doing this because I want to, or because I feel I should? Part 55. Recognizing manipulative language. Traps often hide in language. Vague promises, fear-inducing words, or guilt-laden statements. Pro tip: listen carefully. Identify phrases designed to pressure or confuse. Respond logically, not emotionally. Part 56. The role of scarcity. Limited time offer or don't miss out triggers fear of loss. Traps exploit scarcity to push impulsive decisions. Tip: take your time. Real opportunities don't require panic. Pause and evaluate. Part 57. Overthinking versus awareness. Overthinking can feel like protection, but too much mental spinning leads to inaction. Awareness is proactive. Overthinking is reactive. Action step: differentiate reflection from rumination. Use awareness to act, not just worry. Part 58. Learning from near misses. Every time you avoid a trap, you learn something valuable. These near misses strengthen intuition and judgment. Tip: review situations that felt off. What were the signs? How can you act faster next time? Part 59. Detachment as defense. Emotional detachment doesn't mean coldness. It means staying clear-headed, seeing situations for what they are, and making rational choices without being dragged by emotions. Action step: practice detachment in small areas first, like minor disagreements, to build skill for bigger traps. Part 60. Cultivating a protective mindset. The mindset of vigilance and self-respect shields you from traps. Treat your time, energy, and mental space as precious. Reminder to audience: respecting yourself is the first step in staying free from manipulation. If something feels wrong, trust your instincts, they are your natural alarm system. Part 61. Recognizing workplace traps. At work, traps often appear as favoritism, office politics, or unrealistic demands. They test your patience and willingness to compromise your values. Action step: stay professional, document interactions, and maintain clear boundaries. Protect your reputation while avoiding unnecessary conflict. Part 62. Social media traps. Scrolling endlessly, comparing yourself to others, or reacting to viral drama are modern-day traps. They steal time and create unnecessary stress. Tip: set limits. Curate your feeds. Follow only accounts that add value, not anxiety. Part 63. Emotional investment traps. Getting too attached too quickly, romantically, socially, or professionally can blind you to red flags. Action step: move slowly. Observe behavior over time before fully investing emotionally or financially. Part 64. The trap of instant gratification. Impulsive decisions driven by desire for immediate pleasure can lead to long-term setbacks. Traps thrive on urgency and impatience. Tip: delay decisions when possible. Ask, will this choice benefit me in the long run? Part 65. Recognizing false authority. Some traps rely on perceived authority, experts, influencers, or charismatic leaders to manipulate decisions. Action step: verify credentials and evidence before trusting advice. Critical thinking outweighs blind trust. Part 66. Gaslighting in personal relationships. Partners, friends, or family may use subtle denial, blame shifting, or distortion to control your perception. Pro tip: keep a journal of events. Your memory and experience are valid. Don't let others redefine reality. Part 67. Avoiding the comparison trap. Comparing your journey to others' curated lives leads to stress, envy, and poor decisions. Many traps exploit this insecurity. Action step: focus on your progress. Celebrate small wins. Your path is unique. Part 68. Situational awareness. Traps often exploit distraction. Being fully present and aware of your environment allows you to notice subtle cues. Tip: practice mindfulness. Small details often reveal the difference between a genuine opportunity and a trap. Dart. Part 69. Listening to your gut. Intuition is your internal alarm system. If something feels wrong, even without clear evidence, take it seriously. Action step: pause, analyze, and seek clarity before committing. Never ignore persistent unease. Part 70. Learning from others' mistakes. Observing others' experiences is a shortcut to avoiding traps. Listen to stories, analyze consequences, and apply the lessons to your own life. Reminder to audience: knowledge of traps isn't just personal, it's collective. Learning from others strengthens your defenses.